Hello, hello, it's Bree with BS in the Afternoon on Hits 105.5, and I'm super excited because we have another segment of Music and Mirth. Music and Mirth is my favorite segment of the day because we get to talk to local musicians and artists and up-and-coming musicians, comedians, and all kinds of fun things. And today we have two local musicians with us today, and I'm super excited to introduce them. Hello, guys. How are you?
Hi.
Hey, great.
Having a great time already.
Well, good. And who am I speaking with today?
My name is Emily Saxer, but my music name is Emmy Yeager. That's what I go for. My maiden name is Yeager.
Okay.
And my name is Neal Anderson, and we kind of do an acoustic duet. And I've been a musician bouncing around the area for most of my life now.
That's awesome. And where are you guys from?
Well, I'm originally from Salina, but I live in Bodkins, Ohio.
What you can't see on the radio is we're looking at each other like we don't know. We live in Bodkins, but we're both originally from Salina.
Okay.
I just moved back from Germany.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you just moved back from Germany how long ago?
back in February.
That's awesome.
Yeah, still adjusting. I don't know where I'm from.
Yeah. I still have that problem. We talk about it on the radio all the time that I don't know where I'm from. And I've been back for quite a while now. So I get that. So we're just like those travelers that that don't know exactly where they're from.
Yeah, we just write songs about it.
Yeah, that's awesome. We'll get into that more in a little bit. But right now, I'm excited. So you've got Neal and Emmy Acoustics, and you guys play all over the place, right?
Well, we're starting to. Neal has been a musician for years, and he plays in a band called Nightfall. And I just learned how to play guitar. I've sung for years, but I just learned how to play guitar during COVID while living in Germany because I was bored. So I just started playing in public last year. My friend Greg Toller got me on a stage for the first time, and it took me a while to get used to that stage. And when I moved back, I absolutely love it, and said I'm ready to start gigging. And we put the two of us together, and wineries.
Wineries, craft breweries, yeah.
American Legion.
Yeah, it's really expanding.
That's awesome. Do you guys have any upcoming gigs like that you know of?
We do. November 18th, we will be at Five Vines Winery outside of Wapak. And December 9th, we will be at Evergreen Farms. And December 16th, we will be at the Shingle Shack in Salina.
Okay. What is that?
Oh, it's a lot of fun. It's a lake bar, and we kind of adjust the music according to where we are. Like the wineries, I love my Olivia Newton-John music, John Denver music. I'm a pretty mellow person, but when we go to the Shingle Shack, we ramp it up a little bit and do Living Next Door to Alice and, fun songs that people can get involved with.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And so speaking of fun songs, we're going to play one of your fun songs, Bacon, Beer, and Boobs. I didn't think I would have the chance to say boobs on air, so I'm really excited about this song. What inspired this song?
Well, I had written a million mushy love songs. And one night over a few beers, this song kind of popped out. And as Emmy said, I play with a band called Nightfall. And I played it for the lead singer, Sharon Bertkey of Osgood. I said, Sharon, would you like to come over and record a verse and do some harmonies? And she's got a great sense of humor, so she was all in. So, that's how that came out.
That's awesome. And what do you think about this song, Emmy?
I bang the tambourines and have a great time when he's doing it. It gets requested everywhere we go, and if it doesn't, I request it and ask people if they want to hear it. So I grab the tambourine and play along. It's so fun.
Well, awesome. Okay, so this is Bacon, Beer, and Boobs by Neal and Emmy Acoustics.
No, this is just Neal Anderson.
Just Neal Anderson, but
Is
you
Sharon
get
on
to...
this?
With Sharon.
With
Sharon.
Sharon Bertkey.
Okay.
Yes.
And Sharon is from the band, what's your other band
Nightfall
called?
Band.
Nightfall Band?
Classic 80s rock.
Okay.
All the stuff that we grew up listening to.
We might just have to have them on the show.
Absolutely. We'd be tickled.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll be right back with Bacon, Beer, and Boobs by Neal Anderson and Sharon Burke. I don't know why I struggle to say that name. So we're going to work on that because we're going to have her on the show too. That sounds like fun. If she can sing and play Bacon, Beer, and Boobs, then we can definitely have them on Hits 105.5. So we'll be right back with Bacon, Beer, and Boobs.
When I was a young boy, sitting on my daddy's knee, said, Dad, what's the secret to this life in front of me? He said, son, there's only 3 things that a man looks forward to. Listen, boy, life's greatest joy is bacon, beer, and boobs. Bacon, beer, and boobs. Bacon, beer, and boobs. Listen, boy, life's greatest joy is bacon, beer, and boobs. My old high school teacher taught us dietary rules. She spoke of healthy eating and the 3 main groups of food. I said, ma'am, I hate to disagree, but I don't think that's true. I really feel the perfect meal is bacon, beer, and boobs. Bacon, beer, and boobs. Bacon, beer, and boobs. I really feel the perfect meal is bacon, beer, and boobs. So ladies, if you wonder what your man has on his mind, just walk right up and ask him, but don't be surprised to find it ain't no big secret and it ain't nothing new. All we ever think about is bacon, beer, and boobs. Bacon, beer, and boobs. Bacon, beer, and boobs. All we ever think about is bacon, beer, and boobs. Now some men speak of treasure, and some men speak of fame, and some men speak of God's amazing grace. Well, I like simple pleasures like bacon and some brews, and some busty woman's hooters in my face.
So ladies, if your cheap-ass man won't buy that diamond ring, just give him bacon, beer, and boobs, and he'll do anything. If you need to change his mind, here's all you've gotta do. Just make sure his mouth is full of bacon, beer, and boobs. Bacon, beer, and boobs. Bacon, beer, and boobs. Just make sure his mouth is full of bacon, beer, and boobs.
Bacon, beer, and boobs. Bacon, beer, and boobs. All we ever think about is bacon, beer, and boobs. All it takes to make me happy is bacon, beer, and boobs.
Well, hello, it's Bree, and we just listened to Bacon, Beer, and Boobs by Neal Anderson and Sharon Burke. And that is some type of song. I just want you to know that. That's some type of song for sure. I think that's definitely a vibe. It's definitely an afternoon vibe, or even an evening drinking at the beer, drinking at the
shack.
beer. Yeah, drinking at the Shingle Shack. Is that the one right by the lake?
Yeah.
There's a lot right by the lake. It's on Carafit Road.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
yeah,
awesome.
There's a channel right behind it. It's a really fun place to go.
Cool. I don't find myself getting out of the house very often. I am usually in the studio behind a mic or chilling at my house. But I'm gonna have to find myself down there with one of your guys' gigs.
Oh, absolutely. We'll keep you updated.
Yeah. That's awesome. And then Emmy, if we're allowed to talk about it, you said that you just moved back from Germany.
Correct.
And you taught yourself how to play the guitar.
Correct.
How hard was it to teach yourself how to play the guitar?
Well, it wasn't as hard as I thought. The hard part was I had questions about microphones. I wanted to record things. I had questions about equipment. So what I did was I got on YouTube and I learned 3 chords. And I thought, oh, Okay, well, there's a lot of songs with 3 chords. And then I'd run into the 4th chord and the 5th chord. And there's still some that I just simply don't care about because most of the songs I sing are in certain chords. I stick a capo on it. And I always tell people I'm not a guitar player, I'm a singer. But I really love doing it. And when I would have a question, I would call, I mentioned Greg earlier, here we go again. I would call Greg Toller or my brother, Mike Yeager, and say, hey, what am I supposed to plug this thing into? What do I need? An amp, a monitor, what is this stuff? So, I would get some guidance from overseas, buy stuff in Germany, and then sit there and try to figure out what to do with it.
Yeah, that sounds extremely complicated. I taught myself how to play the ukulele during COVID.
I did that too.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. I'm like, I have a broken finger from like childhood, and so once you get to like the 5th chord, and then I'm like, I'm done with that. I can only play certain songs and play "Truth Hurts" by Lizzo, and that's the only thing that matters.
Cool.
Well, the ukulele is what actually, I have many family members that play guitar, and the ukulele was fun, and it got kind of easy for me, and I got bored with it, and I thought, well, if I can do this, maybe I can play the guitar. So that was my path to the guitar, really.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, look at you. You're over here being super productive during COVID while most of us weren't doing much.
Yeah, well, and it lasted a long time in Germany, too. We were, the regulations were pretty strict there, and I had been in a gospel choir that sang American gospel music called Grateful, and it was a really good choir. And we practiced every Sunday, and all of a sudden we weren't allowed to sing anymore. We weren't allowed to exchange air around each other.
Yeah.
So they shut down our gospel choir, and I had no resource for music. So
That's
found it.
unfortunate, but also fortunate because you found your own your vibe. You got your vibe.
Right, and now I'm out gigging, and Neal and I are gigging together, and it's actually what got us together is music.
Yeah. And so how did you guys get together as a group? Like, how did Neal and Emmy Acoustics come together?
Can I tell them?
Sure, absolutely.
Well, we live in the same house, so I strong-armed him into it. He didn't have a choice.
Greg Toller had sent me a video clip of this good-looking blonde singing a song, and I was pretty impressed with her voice and her guitar playing. And eventually, he introduced us in person, and we text back and forth once in a while and compare notes and stuff, and it just kind of was a natural progression.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was, when I went back to Germany, I was severely depressed going from all this music, playing open mics and friends calling me up on stage to play when I'd go see them. Nancy Boniface let me play. Grove Hill let me go up and play. I mean, it was amazing. And then I went back and sat on the couch in Germany and played by myself. You know, so Neal kept tabs on me and really kept me going. And a lot of people out from Rhythm and Brews, my group out there, they were messaging. I had a lot of support from back home, keeping me going during that time.
Yeah, so you just came back and you were like, I'm gonna do this music thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I put my feet in the water again with open mics, and I found out that, last year when I did it, I was nervous. I found out I just grabbed the guitar, put it on and played, and I didn't think anything of it because all of a sudden I'm home, I'm where I belong, I'm here, and it just all felt natural for me.
Well, I think that the community is glad that you're here too because everybody's riling up for your guys' music. So I think that's awesome.
Thank you.
No problem. And so let's talk about Drawn to Water. What was the inspiration for Drawn to Water? The
inspiration was home. And to me, the lake is home. It's where I sat and made a lot of decisions in my life. And I wrote that song while I was here visiting, knowing that I had to go back to Germany. So it was very, it's my baby. It means a lot to me. And I sat by the lake and wrote it, and I called Greg and said, "You got to hear this. I think I did a song." It It was the first one besides songs that I played kids in preschool. You know, I made up a couple songs, but this was the first one that I did. And he said, you know, I mean, he was completely supportive of it and told me, yeah, it's great. So I kind of went with it, played it a couple places, and people really responded well to it.
Awesome. That's great. And so now you guys play it all the time?
Well, I tell you, I play that song, and it was pretty slow tempoed. I always say dreamy when I played it. And when we recorded it, Neal added all these amazing upbeat guitar parts, and Steve Atkins played the drums. And we told him, you know, whatever you come up with, let's hear what you come up with. And these guys put together some amazing sounds and made it more, actually my style, more country, and it's a little more upbeat. So I'm really excited for you to hear it.
Awesome. All right. Well, this is Drawn to Water by Neal and Emmy Acoustics.
It's a fear of the known. It's a fear that nothing's changed, but in her heart, she's always known. She's drawn to water. Doesn't like what she sees. Doesn't like what she already knows. But in the end, it's a water. It's about the breeze, it's about the need, but mostly it's about the water. It's about the breeze, it's about the need, but mostly it's about the water. She's drawn to water. It's a place that caused her so much pain, a place that she never could escape. So she doesn't wanna, she's drawn to water. It's where her story started, where she loved a boy and she loved a girl. She was the talk of the town. It's about the breeze, it's about the need, but mostly it's about the water. It's about the breeze, it's about the need, but mostly it's the water. She's drawn to water.
Hello, hello, we're back. We're still doing Music and Mirth with BS in the Afternoon on Hits 105.5. And I have Neal and Emmy Acoustics in the studio, and I am absolutely having a blast with them. We've listened to Bacon, Beer, and Boobs, Drawn to Water, and I just want to know, Drawn to Water, do you have any, like, emotions when you play this song because you are thinking about all these life changes? How do you deal with that while you're performing?
I absolutely do. And I always warn people, there are certain songs, there's a 50% chance I'm going to cry. I try to sing in German a lot of times. I mean, I do sing in German, but I try to get a German song in almost every performance. And sometimes that chokes me up too. But when we were recording Drawn to Water and Steve added the drum part to it, I just burst into tears. I mean, to hear something that came from my heart being transformed into something that people are going to hear on the radio just blew me away.
That's awesome. So let's get to know you guys a little bit. What do you guys do for fun when you're not doing music?
You can't see us looking at each other.
I'm a typical guy. I like to watch football, drink a beer or two. I like to read, and between the two of us, we've got a zillion musical instruments laying around the house. So yeah, just typical guy stuff. Stuff that gets me in trouble. Yeah.
And I can't even. We go watch other people's gigs when we're not doing anything. We have a lot of people that we like to follow because they support us. So we'll go to a lot of the local places, like where do we go? Tailspin, the wineries. This weekend we're going to Muller Brew Barn to hear a friend. And a lot of times when I'm home, I have a guitar in my hands just because. I mean, that's all I did in Germany those last couple of years. I mean, because I went from not being able to play to being able to gig in Germany. So I don't get as much practice time here because we have jobs and.
Yeah, you have to like live life.
Yeah.
Have to pay the bills.
Unfortunately.
I think we all feel that way, right?
And we like visiting family. We visit my parents a lot, and his brother Robin. He used to be in many, many bands, him and his wife. We go visit them. And I'm a grandma, as you know, so.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, though, is that you don't look like a grandma.
Well, thank you.
And so I think even just your spirit as a person, you're just like full of life and full of like this excitement. I remember this excitement when I was like 18. Now I'm just tired.
Well, the thing is it's new for me. I mean, Neal's been doing this for years. So, you know, when I say, oh, I booked a gig for February, he's like, okay. And I'm like, let's start working on it now because I'm on fire because it's new.
Yeah.
So
you have this passion and this drive.
Absolutely.
Which is refreshing and amazing at the same time. So that's really
Thank
cool. That's really cool. And so let's talk about Neither One. Neither One is the last song we're going to play today by Neal and Emmy Acoustics, and I'm excited for it because this is my favorite one. And so what was the inspiration for Neither One?
Well, the inspiration was leaving Germany. It was the breakup. I was married to a German. I was married to Mark for 10 years, and he had a hard time living in America because he has children, and I had a hard time living in Germany. I do like to point out to him often that I managed to live in Germany 7 years, and he only managed America for 2 years. So I win. Yeah. So once COVID hit and I had trip after trip canceled where I couldn't go home, I almost want to say that's when panic set in because I realized that there could come a point where I could not be with my family when I needed to be. And honestly, we didn't talk about it, and we both knew something needed to happen, but every time it would come up, we would just kind of step back from it a little bit. So it finally came up when I watched some grandchildren walk into their grandma's house when we were taking a walk, and I was crying in the street because those kids were visiting their grandma, and he was like, you got to go. You got to go home. And it wasn't like a mean, you got to go. It was,
You gotta
I should
get
have put that
outta
in the
here.
song. You get out of here, woman. Germany doesn't want you. But no, it was a very loving reaction. And I mean, he sent me back to America with lots of love for each other, but that love transformed into a really beautiful friendship because there's no other way for it to be.
Yeah. And you know, I also have a sordid love that I had to leave because I chose America over Poland, and he just couldn't do it in America. I don't know what's with these Europeans thinking that America's not amazing. Because
We're a
it
tough bunch to
absolutely is.
handle.
Is that? That's right. We are. But you know, we're the land of the free. We can handle that. It's so funny. But and I know that there's a lot of emotions with that, and so you can tell in the music that you really have put those emotions, and that I call it inner chaos. And you can perceive that how you will, I guess, with neither one. And
he was very supportive of the song too. Like, I wrote it at the kitchen table while I was still in Germany and said, "Are you okay with this?"
Aw.
And at the time, it was a solo song, and it was when I got to America I started hearing it as a duet. So Jonah Keene from Grove Hill sang it with me. Josh Taylor from 127 North sang it with me. John Monahan from Monahan Music sang it with me. And I finally said to Neal, like, since we're together, it felt important to me. He cares enough about Mark, and he cares enough about me that he could play that role of the male voice with a lot of love and affection for Mark and for me. So Mark is just absolutely thrilled, and he cannot wait to hear a recording of this show.
well, that's awesome. That's good. And now that we have our app, he can listen live even if he wanted to.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
Yeah. So that's amazing. And so I'm just very happy. I'm glad. Not all journeys are great journeys, but what's come out of it is amazing because you're glowing, you're happy, and that makes me happy because I think that you know, we have to go through things to find out where we want to be, where our hearts are.
She's still adjusting to the English, folks.
Yeah, that's
I
so
think
funny.
that was a subliminal message.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. I'm always constantly messing up words, and sometimes I will forget like an English word for something because my brain still works. And like I'm going to the grocery store, I'm still shopping in Polish, and going through those motions. Then I'm like, oh yeah, what is that in English? And I have to like ask my boyfriend, like, what's that word? And he's like, I speak English as a second language. What do you
Yeah, the different things, like when I had back trouble, you know, different things like that were diagnosed for me in German. So, you know, I come back here and I'm like, what is a Schilddrüsenunterfunktion? I don't know.
Plus, I get chewed out in German on a fairly regular
He
basis.
thinks he gets chewed out on German, but I'm just telling him to have a good day, really.
Yeah, sure it is. Sure it is.
You know, I like that. I like that a lot. I notice sometimes when I get frustrated and the child is around, I'll censor myself in a different language.
It does come in handy.
It does come in handy. Well, you know what, guys? I've loved having you guys on the show. I can't wait for everybody to hear neither one. So just thank you so much for being on the show and sharing yourself
Thank you.
with us.
Thanks for having us.
And
This is
people
a
can
great
see
time.
us on Facebook too, under Neal and Emmy Acoustic. I also have Emmy Jaeger Music. Jaeger is spelled Jaeger. A lot of people look for me and can't find me.
Yeah.
But and we also are Neal and Emmy Acoustic on Insta also.
Okay, so you can find you on Neal and Emmy Acoustics on Insta or on Facebook.
Correct.
Right.
Awesome. Do you guys have YouTube or?
I do, but it doesn't have like our current stuff on it. A lot of
Okay.
it is just recordings like from Rhythm and Brews and things like that, and noisy background videos and
Yeah,
things
I
like
get
that.
that. I get that.
So we're gonna have to start a channel though together.
Yeah, so
Sure.
everybody should definitely look up Neal and Emmy Acoustics on Facebook and Instagram. I believe I am following both of them, so I get to see when their upcoming gigs are and some snippets of just their creativity. I saw a video the other week. You guys were in the rock garden in
Yep.
Wapak, and I was like, what a vibe. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So I think it's definitely worth a follow. And I will post that also on our Hits 1055 Facebook page, so you can take a look after the show and find them there. That's awesome. So anyways, again, thank you guys. I loved having you guys on the show. We've been very fun listening to your guys' music and your creations. I think that it's a great artwork is what I call it. It's artwork. So
Well,
that's
thanks,
awesome.
Bree, for making us feel so welcome. This has been fun.
No
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, and we have a lot of music friends that are going to be knocking on your door after this.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We're good. We always welcome more musicians that we can get on Music and Mirth, because it's a
There's
vibe.
so much talent around
There
here.
is.
Yep.
And I've never one time felt threatened, like somebody didn't like what I was doing. Threatened is probably a weird word, but everybody's been supportive, and you know how women can be sometimes.
Yeah.
The women in this area too have been really supportive of me and lifting me up, and these guys getting me on stage, just pulling me up there. And when I say, oh, it makes me nervous, that no, keep going.
Yeah.
And I'm here because of all my people doing that.
I think that's what I'm constantly coaching, support, love, and encouragement to everybody. So I think it's extremely important. And it's great that you have that support system, because without it, then what would we even be a community?
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And I love that it's spreading from different towns. You know what I mean? So you're not just in Butkins, you're not just in Wapak, you're in Salina, you're in St. Mary's, you're in all these areas. And we want you to keep spreading, because we're all connected.
Sorry for laughing, but
I get it.
I think that was a subliminal message.
I think it was.
And that's where the BS comes in.
That's right.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, guys, this is Neither One by Neal and Emmy Acoustics, and we'll be right back after this.
We became an us so quickly. I'll never forget how I felt in your arms when we first met. Talked about it all, well, almost. What we didn't care to say, someday it would change. Neither one could say it's over, neither one goodbye. Neither one could talk about it, it only makes us cry. So here you go now, baby, doing it for you. This one of us is one instead of two. Let's face it together, or put it on the shelf. Neither one can say it's over.